Greetings everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Happy spring! Yes, so today we are doing flowers. We're doing flower arrangements, and I'm not talking about the ones where you have to like make a symbol. No, I'm talking about the ones that look like custom content, but aren't. Yes, so I'm talking about grouping different kinds of flowers and objects together, like pottery and flowers, different sizing options to be able to kind of make it more realistic looking and to just create a more unique flower arrangement, motif, whatever you want to call it, you'll find it here. So if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe in the links below. And as always, stay proud. Go out and do something magical. And let's go ahead and just spring into this bunch of flowers now. And thank you so much for watching. Today, I am so stoked to do these flowers. So this one is a really fun one because I started out with the common barrel, you know, like the one that everybody kind of tends to use because it's more of a base gaming object. And then I started throwing in some stuff here from some of the other packs. So we have the fitness pack here with your really cool, like, you know, little like modern ledge piece here. And what I did is it's really all about scale too. So as I'm going around here and just popping in these flowers, you'll see that I'm kind of hiding a lot of the pottery that it comes in. And then over time, you're going to see me kind of build around a little bit with other objects. So I kind of do my bases a little bit here. So you see me pop in some of the other like bases and things like that, because it's nice to start out with like a little piece and then just build around it. So I'm showing sort of different options here now with the barrel and some of our new pieces that we've got recently with the Eco Harbor, with the Eco Living, and then the Star Wars pack as well. I actually liked those. I feel like they have a neat commercial feel a little bit, almost from like a 90s mall or something, but still yet kind of interesting to look at. So I, you know, kind of put that together here, and you're seeing a close up of that now. And so you're seeing me kind of just pop in like, you know, these really fun little pieces and sort of the items that you would maybe put on a table in otherwise in the game, but I'm just taking and just sort of resizing a little bit with sort of even the house plants and stuff on the inside too, because you can kind of hide around a lot of the really neat pieces of it. You can kind of hide around the pieces you don't want to see to create something really neat. And so like, for instance, those jars and things, you can easily hide that among, you know, just the other things. And then some of the profiles, like you want to think about like your rectangles and your squares if you're going to try and do a planter that's also the same shape. So you want to kind of keep similar shapes. So then your corners, you can fit things up close and tight and not have it kind of come through the side and the edge. But then again, if it does, you can always, you know, kind of work with it as well. Like for instance, with this piece, I almost created like a whole new piece because I put it on a stilt by making it look like it has like a stilt by using that rectangular tall, you know, the tall plant and that tall, you know, rectangle pot, the tall one. And so I basically used that as like two legs for it. So then I just raised it up, and then that allowed me to put in like the viney stuff and all that kind of stuff, because the viney plant is from Outdoor Adventure, and it only will scale down to like that size. It won't go any smaller because it's actually meant for like really big. I think it's a debug item. It is 100% a debug item. So you'd have to enable the debug by doing the bb.show hidden objects. So it'd be bb.show hidden objects when you do your Control-Shift-C cheat. Yes. So now you're seeing me kind of play with the berries a little bit here in this plant, because I really do like some of the bases, you know, pieces that we have here. And so I'm like in the game. And so I'm like, we need to kind of have the chance to just make them a little bit more top shelf. And, you know, as though you were to kind of get like a floral arrangement, or you were to actually see this in like planted somewhere at like a bank or at a mall or outside at a lifestyle center. And so now I'm bringing in tulips. I kind of designed this a couple different ways so you guys could just kind of see, there's a lot of opportunity even with just this one thing, and just adding in stuff. And then, for instance, like the very puny looking sort of just basic barrel plant has now become this like, sort of really large sort of piece that's more like, dramatic and interesting to look at, rather than just being something you'd want to just pass by and be like, meh, like kind of the way that we're given, because we see the same thing every day and we see the same sort of stuff every day. And, so it's really neat to kind of add a little bit more creativity to your pieces when you can. And I think this is one of those simpler, easier ways without having to do a lot of tricks or needing extra tools to do it, because I really haven't been able to master those sort of mega tools that a lot of people like to use. And so I still kind of go with the old tricks and things that I know how to do. And that would be one of them is, really making these really fun arrangements to make them look more real or more like authentic. So like now I've used some of these plants to kind of make them feel like they have flowers coming off of them, for instance, because I like plants that are flowering more than I do just a lot of green, plain, basic plants. So like we have a lot of those really neat sort of flower bouquets that already come with the game. So it's really fun to kind of just scale those down a little or up depending on the plant you're using, and then to just pop them in and make it look like the plant's flowering. So that's kind of what I've done here a little bit with some of the greenery and ferns and that kind of stuff that we have, just so that it's got a little bit more coming out of it or around it, to give it some life, extra life there. And it doesn't look like a fake just plant plop there. And so now there's like a little tree here, and some of these are really going to start growing in a moment. You're going to see me like really add some extra pieces, but I really do love the like cherry blossom trees. Those are really good standbys too. And then sort of your ornamental trees that are intended for interior look good either way. So I just really enjoyed being able to sort of create different themes here as well. And so now you're kind of seeing me use, like we have the hostas, for instance. All those have a lot of flowers now. And they really only bloom like once or maybe twice a year. And it's just this giant stocky thing that then has a lot of flowers coming out the side. But I've never seen it in the game actually bloom. And it would be neat if they would update the hosta plants so they would bloom. Because they do, it's just only in the spring and maybe in the fall if you have a certain breed. And that's it. That's pretty much it. And then it's just a long stalk that develops. Flowers pop out. They're like bell-looking flowers and different colors. And they pop out, and then the whole thing dies. And you just have this like, plain, bushy-looking, teardrop leaf-shaped plant that's growing. And it grows like it can grow and spread out a very long distance and wide, especially if it's got a big water source. So it's good to plant near downspouts, and sort of those sort of areas to really help shore up any flooding issues that you may have, like small ponding areas, that sort of thing, because you can actually absorb a significant amount of water with hydrangeas and with hostas, which I have both. So now I'm just popping in more flowers in this arrangement now. So this one, I think it's from the bowling. Or actually, it may even be from the eco lifestyle, I think, probably even, as I'm thinking about it. And then the tulips here, I love them. And then we have a lot of the irises as well. Just all different kinds of fun plants. I love the plants, but I just know that there's a lot of opportunity to really, just kind of jazz them up a little more here and really help them all shine together as a group, just like we do as a community. I really love it. And thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching this. So I just want you guys to kind of see just different options. Here's the tire. Some of this comes from the backyard stuff pack as well, especially like the more like colorful things that you find in the game. Those are going to come from those are one of the packs, the backyard pack. And then also, funny enough, even the My First Pet pack actually has some really good decoration items. And one of them being this little flower pot that I'm working on right now, this flower arrangement here. And then there's some pieces that are just really fun to kind of add in to fill in sort of the dirt spots if you don't want any visible dirt, even like if you just want to look like it's totally full and a mature sort of collection of pieces and of flowers and plants. If you just wanted to make it feel like it's been there a while, then definitely, you can cover up more of that dirt there to get that idea. So now I'm getting into the pots. And so that what we were doing was just sort of the things that are already pre-given to us. And then I just added more plants to it. So now you're going to see me do sort of community sort of seating arrangements that I would maybe do outside or in a mall or at a bowling alley or any sort of retail spot even, because you could swap out a tree for like signage, for instance, even, and the way that I'm doing this here. And so right now you're seeing me do sort of the potted plant idea. And then there's even another idea I bring in here in a moment. You'll see, and I hope you guys like this. Like, and if you like more ideas like this and me sharing my stuff, definitely let me know. And I will definitely make sure to kind of share whatever info I have and knowledge I have from the last 20 years regarding The Sims. It's so much fun. And I just really love the game. And I love that there still is a lot of flexibility in The Sims 4 and to still even get to recognize and learn now new stuff. So I'm making sort of this really bougie sort of design right now where I'm including the colonial element of like the column and to just kind of make it feel like it's maybe more around and coming out of the space and towards you, where I'm just sort of layering the plants where it just sort of kisses the side of the couch and that sort of stuff. So it feels like it's bushy and it's coming out and it's just more of a mature sort of piece. Rather than it just being recently planted or fake. So all these like sort of bushy elements going in just to kind of give it that little bit of unkept look even maybe. You could get more bushy. And I was like, ooh, you could even, like if you want to go vertical, because like some people, we do really tall ceilings. So you kind of want to go to scale. And sometimes the little pieces just look little and lost in your big giant space. And like I like doing sort of the like lofty styles too, where you might even have like a 2 or 3 floor entrance. And by then your little tiny, cactus there in the corner is kind of hidden and just lost because there's so much other things going on. So, you could definitely take one of these ideas, even and morph it into your own and fit it into your own space. Or maybe this might catalyze you into like, doing something even totally different, but still uniquely creative with these items. So now I'm just kind of making this really fun sort of arrangement and in these plant pots. I just started doing, or sort of I just combined those 4 couches, the sort of nook couches into one, and then just popped in different ideas there around it to kind of make it feel full. So you could even maybe have a really fun backyard area where like one side of the couch you could have like a barbecue pit area, or you could have the bonfire, and then maybe another side you could do the little kiddie pool, another side you could have to the regular pool, and then maybe another side you could have to a barbecue and grill. So right there's some ideas on just kind of general of how to make the 4 angles work even, and why you would necessarily want that. So I'm now just kind of using some of these plants that you're going to see me pop in here too are just because fortunately the game will still let them live even if they're not in dirt or anything. So funny enough. So I will use like the live plants or the ones from the garden section where you would do your outdoor plants. And sometimes I'll use those as well to fill in these pots because they actually are to a pretty good scale if you do the scale down with the bracket down key or the bracket up key, depending on if you're scaling up or down. And then to add like a little special bougie touch, you could definitely even add lighting to these outside pieces, and these little like crates of plants and these little flower arrangements here. You could, add lights and just make it even a little more fancy or work for evening time outdoors. So now you kind of got that little scoop. And then same thing with even these. You could add in these to kind of incorporate it with your fencing if you have taken the time to do fencing with this as well, which I like to do. If I've got a small fence, I will pop these over the fence posts to give it that little extra touch. And then you can definitely do that the same here with these sort of couch options or even the plant options, the planter options. And now I just kind of gave you some different, like showing you the swatches there on the couch as well. They're very versatile because there's just so many different color options. So you can just kind of mix and match how you choose on those. And now I'm just kind of adding even more to our first fancy little, like basic barrel arrangement, plant arrangement. So now you're kind of seeing the whole little side here of how they look from like the first person view if you were standing in front of them looking. So we can just kind of breeze by and you can kind of see them all and how it all kind of shapes together. So I hope you guys liked it. And if you have any questions or if you guys kind of wonder which items I use, let me know. And I would definitely be glad to kind of help you guys on this journey of discovering even more opportunity with plants, plant arrangements, and how to make them look even more original in your builds so that your build really stands out, especially in those thumbnails that are really kind of hard to grab. This is an idea for you because people are going to be like, what? Well, what's that? Huh? They're saying this is an OCC, but what is that? So then they can see you do your build video and watch how you assembled those two. So as always, I'm Simmer Chase, and thanks again so much for tuning in. Go out and stay proud and do something magical. Thank you and have a great day. Actually, that one's actually one of my favorites too. I really love that one. Oh my gosh, it is so great. And I really love how I was able to use the lighting, use everything all together. And that's my favorite thing is when you can just take a lot of elements that you don't really think would go well together, and then you put them together and you're like, wow, that actually works. So those were really my favorite to discover. Like a couple of years ago, I discovered the couch idea, maybe like in 2016 or 15, like about a year or two after the game came out. And then I was just like, yes, this is great. Let's keep doing this for like public spaces and stuff. So I actually started doing that with some bowling alleys and then my doer space as well. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I am so grateful for you guys tuning in and watching. And as always, stay proud. Go out and do something magical and have a great day. Thank you for tuning in.